Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. What a day, what a day, what a day. You gotta love the full moon. Seriously. Some days with that beautiful full moon, it feels like we need to have a drink. I need a drink. Seriously. I need a very, very strong drink, which is funny because across from where I'm sitting in my office, I do have. Hey, Dr. Goodman, whenever you want to hop in, we're ready to rock and roll when you're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So I was mentioning, as you know, it's been a very interesting day. Yesterday was a full moon, and oh my God, I went with full gun blazing with the full moon. You gotta love it when you go feisty with that. But today's been crazy. I don't know for you, Dr. Goodman, but I'm sitting across from my desk. I do have a bottle of cognac, and I'm waving at the cognac, but I'm not gonna be drinking the cognac. So, but that's all good. It's the way life goes. It's the way life goes. So, how are you doing, Dr. Goodman?
Good. I plugged in my headphones. I heard the bottle of cognac. So what was the last part?
There's a bottle of, I said it's been a crazy day. I mentioned that earlier to you when we were talking and doing the video, and I said, well, Saturday, because it's a crazy day today. And I'm like, I need a stiffer drink than my bottle of water. And I'm like, behind the monitor, because I'm faced my monitors, but behind it there is a little cabinet, and on top of the cabinet, actually, there is a bottle of cognac.
Oh, okay.
I should have maybe moved that cabinet next to me.
Uh,
That would be nice, isn't it? You can reach it with your hands. It's like pour it,
yeah.
and it's like,
No,
yay!
yeah, sure.
I think it's a good idea.
Right.
And I am so happy the website is going good. I created a bunch of pages. It's not live yet because the only thing you're going to see it's under construction. But I'm trying to get this up and running. I want this by this weekend up and running. So we should have at least the pages up and running. I need to get some stuff from you, bio, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm going to have a page for you, page for me. So people knows, it's like you're going on a sea show and you're going to get a great picture at the beginning because I love my Shutterstock. And you're going to have the co-host, who we are. So every one of us is going to get a page because that's what we do here at the Sea Show. We don't do things very easy. We like it grandiose and awesome. So we're doing this. And then there would be a page for each shows. So if we're going to our collaboration, then there would be only all of our stuff. That's it. So people could have hours of Dr. Goodman talking about sensuality, sexuality, loving each other, loving ourselves, and everything that goes in between. So, yeah. So I'm creating all of that because I got three actually. I got the regular Sea Show, I got the Sea Show with you, and I have another one that I launched it today, this afternoon, which is the financial side of it. It's the 8 financial breakthrough for small, medium companies. So I started this afternoon to do this one. So yeah, so it's gonna be fun.
Uh, okay.
It's a lot, isn't it? I talk a lot right now,
Uh,
and I did yoga.
yes, and it's supposed to be at 5:30 my time or 5:30 your time.
5:30 your time because it's 6:30. So it's 5:30, and I'm a few minutes late because I was doing yoga. I needed to relax a little bit.
R- Well, then it's 2 hours different.
It
Cause
is?
it's four. Yeah, it's 4:30 here.
Oh, are you serious? Okay, I thought you were. When we talked, it was 5:30, so it's 2 hours. So you're in the California side of it, not. Oh, you're not mountainside. Mountainside is an hour. Oops. Oops, Emma. Naughty Emma. You are correct. And Emma wasn't drinking when she said that, but she lost track because I moved you into the mountain mountain standard time instead than be the Pacific time because you're Pacific time.
You're right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're
Okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
Because I know soon as I was what, 520, yeah, 528. Denise was coming down, and that's so it's a good time to make a cup of coffee. And I looked around and said, "It's just not 5:30." I thought it was 5:30 an hour ago.
And we went for it, and we didn't even
Yeah.
realize that. And I did not either because I moved Nevada to Mountain Time. And he was like, oh, okay, an hour Colorado time. I'm like, oh, we're an hour apart. No, we're 2 hours because you're Pacific time.
Right.
Emma doesn't know how to count anymore. Well, she didn't know to start with, which is scary, isn't it?
Okay. Well, I blame it on the excitement because it has been
Yes.
pretty exciting. Uh,
We are, yeah.
yeah. And like I said, I'm just sitting here going from uh, person to person, whoever come up.
Yeah.
So that way it was yesterday. I was just sitting here, and you came up, and I pushed the button, and like, oh, it's time. Okay, well, let's go. I'm in agreement.
Well, I'm glad you're listening. Otherwise, it would have been sad. It would have been Emma's crying. It's like, oh, I'm by myself.
Really, he's supposed to be here.
And no, because again, yeah, I totally forgot. So yeah, it is 4:30. Yeah, because on the website I use Eastern time. I don't use Pacific. I don't use Central time when I put the hours. So yes, it is the excitement and the confusion. Then I decided to move the state of Nevada directly into the Mountain Central time. I redid the map of the U.S. right there. I moved you out. Isn't it awesome when somebody can do that? I can. I just did. You gotta love it. So yeah. So I'm excited about the website. So as I said, I'm gonna do a few things in there and release it by Saturday. It still will be a work in progress, but at least our show will be in there, so that would be good. And take your bio and connect with your website as well. So it's gonna be fun.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we make it grandiose here. We want to have fun.
Uh, okay, yeah, because I didn't want to put it on the thing here, and people was looking for me, and it'll be the wrong time. So
No,
I'm
but that's
glad we
okay.
got that clear. Yeah.
No, but that's okay because I use 7:30 Eastern time. So
Okay.
when I did the schedule, I never look at mine or yours. I always do Eastern time because I think it's force of habits. Then everybody talk Eastern time because that helps people to figure out their time zone. So yeah, it's just between the two of us. Then it's like super confusion. The confusion's coming
Okay.
from you.
Okay. Well, it's not that confusing, but hey, just add it on, So uh,
Yep. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, we're good. So how was your day? Good.
Yeah, I was sitting here just sending emails backwards and forth, and I thought I came across this story that we used to tell uh, in the basic sensuality course, and this guy was in love with this lady, and she wanted to go to the opera,
Oh,
you know.
that's the one you sent me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
that's
you
interesting.
want to read it?
Sure, this one
Okay.
was very interesting. Actually, I'm like, holy moly! Welcome to different expectation right here. Oh my God. Okay, so we knew a man who was beginning a relationship with a woman he considered very beautiful. She wanted him to take her to the opera. She wanted him to take her in a limousine, and she wanted him to wear a tuxedo. He had never been to the opera and didn't even own the right kind of tuxedo. He had actually never done anything like that in his life. He called us and asked us what he should do. We advised him that the opera could be a lot of fun, especially if this woman has so much appetite. Whoops, what happened with my story? We told him that this might be his chance of a lifetime to experience splendor. So, do you want me to stop at this one or continue to talk?
You could skip the extension part, but yeah, just finish reading it just so people can hear it, and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
How she
Yeah,
yeah.
she was not thrilled with any of it. The car was not a real limo. Oh, goody. The opera tickets were too far up. Needless to say, he felt like a failure. As a result, the more wrong she found his effort, the less attractive she became to him. He just wanted to take her home and never see her or smell her. Oh, God. Give me a sec. Oh my God, this is like holy crap. Smell her again, aka her breath suddenly repulsed him. Oh, sorry, people. She could have been delighted that he found the tickets. She could have been thrilled with the car and the flowers and the fact that he wore a tuxedo for her. If she had appreciated his effort, there's no doubt that he would have made another date with her, with better tickets and perhaps even a real limo. If you did not appreciate what you have, you probably won't appreciate what you may get in the future. A woman can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
that's an
What
interesting
you?
that's an interesting story, and I don't know, but I have a little problem if somebody said this kind of expectation, I want to go this, I want to go there, I want to go there, that will freak me out for a minute, and I will probably not go out with that person. I don't know.
Uh,
To me, it's
right.
like, I don't know.
Right.
What you got?
Okay.
Yeah.
The concept of the story is he was willing to do what it takes to make her happy, and she know that he couldn't. He didn't have no limo and all that stuff. You know, he was living a simple life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but he was in love with her and wanted to make her happy. But instead of that, she criticized him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that was the whole key of it. She didn't respect him. You know, yes, the part of she didn't want to see her or smell her anymore. You know, which she might have had some nice perfume on. You know, looked good. But all through that, what she wanted, and what he could afford to come up with, was unappreciative. So, yeah, I mean, just I wouldn't want to take a woman out if she demands all of that and never did it before herself, and didn't appreciate what I did. Yes, I would feel the same way he did, but it was just the point of not being appreciative of what someone doing for you.
Yeah, because that will. I don't know if somebody do this. I would be kind of a little bit scared because, okay, you can be high maintenance, but at this point, it's more than demanding. It's very scary. It's like
It's very scary.
what's gonna be next if like the poor gentleman at the end of the day did not meet her expectation, which was out of expectation. It's like, honey, your standard, the gentleman cannot afford it. Now, you're lucky you go to the opera because he found tickets, so appreciated where you're sitting. But if you expect somebody else to give you the grand treatment, then go pick up somebody else who has the money. Because at this point, the poor gentleman's not going to sell what he got just to get you where you need to be. But that's scary. It's like, what's going to be my
Right.
next? A trip to the Taj Mahal? Oh, my God.
Really?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's also what she know that he never did anything like this here in his entire life,
Yeah.
But she wanted to pretend she really liked him and know, and if you like me, this is what it's got to be. Well, that was overdoing it. I mean, it's just not. Where was the part? She did not respect herself enough to see what he had, or she just didn't care what it was. She just wanted to make him look bad, and that's what ended up happening. You know.
Well, he did, and I hope that gentleman finds somebody else is better than this lady, because it will be like, oh, that will make you sit down for 5 minutes and say, I'm not going to be dating anybody anytime soon, because if they're all like that, forget it. I'm like,
Well, I'm gonna go celibate.
Yeah, go
Really.
celibate. I become a monk at this point.
Be a
I'm like,
monk,
forget it.
really?
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly. I'm
Really.
like, well, it is kind of scary, and I don't know. I would love to understand where those high expectations come, because it's like people who are trying to fix other. I'm going to go with that person because I need to fix him. What is the need to try to want to save people? What is the need to set this kind of unrealistic expectation, knowingly you know that person has a hard time and will try to afford something, but it's not going to be what your expectations are. So are you setting him up for failure just to go after him and, rip him a good shorts and send him a tuxedo and end up with a short at the end of the day? I don't know. But to me, it's like, wow, who wants to go out with you, lady? Because it seems like you're not that nice. You're not mindful. You're scary.
Really.
Yes.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can read the last one.
Okay.
And,
So
and
I'm going to read the last one. Okay. All right. Okay. So a woman can also use positive reinforcement when a man does something that pleases her. Positive reinforcement is the best method for teaching or training anyone. Oh, yes. And sometimes, yes. Yeah. Sometimes you need a lot of training on that. She can begin to learn positive reinforcement by
okay, you gotta stop laughing. Read that again.
I'm sorry. I should have never said that, but I couldn't help myself.
Hey, it's the truth, though.
Thank you for acknowledging that. But okay, so she can begin to learn positive reinforcement by focusing her attention on one thing in her life that she finds positive. Once she's able to do this, she can find other positive things to focus upon, and he's on her way to feeling better. That is so true. Anger can also be overcome by learning to appreciate what her partner produces for her. If she can learn to appreciate whatever her partner or anyone else, for that matter, produces for her and feel enthusiasm and enjoyment for their gift, more and better things and feeling will come her way in the future. This dynamic is true for men as well as women. An important part of women's sensual and emotional appetites is their ability to consume. Wow. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And getting back to the going to the opera, she was unwilling to consume what he did for her.
Yeah.
And like you said, like it read, the next time he might have got it together to get front row tickets in a real limousine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the point of he got his sister car, somebody to drive,
Yeah.
and so that was really big, and his sister appreciated him enough to want to help him have his dream,
Yes.
or have her dream come true,
Yes.
And so
Absolutely. That's why it would, setting high expectation. That's, to me, it's like, okay, you can, but don't ask somebody else to jump the hoops for you, and be more realistic and come go with the flow. You go to the opera. So at this point, you should enjoy you went to the opera. Maybe you need binoculars for where you were sitting because most of the time that's what you need when you go to the opera. But it's appreciated that that gentleman made that effort and all of the, everything that took for him to get that car, whatever car it was, and drive her over there. And I'm sure he had dinner with her or he did something special for her, and just appreciate what you've got. Unless, if you're really high standard, then go find a millionaire or billionaire who wants you and maybe will handle your temper and deal with it. But I don't think so. Because if you're like that this way with somebody, that's scary. It's like, I don't know, maybe this is maybe her outer conditions. Maybe she been taught something. I don't know what triggered her to do that because I have no idea. But there must have been something that, that she saw in when she grew up, or in her outer condition, and how women were treating men, and what the expectation were, or maybe she been taught, she be treated like a queen. So, but yeah, it's quite a sad story in the same time. It's horrifying. I would not want to be the gentleman actually, because that would have been a horrifying night. I would have probably left her at the end and said, you know what, go take a cab or a bus and go back home. It's like I would just say that. That would have been me. But I don't know. It's horrifying to experience this. The other thing is he did not. It seems like because he really liked her, he did not saw the red flag when she started to express what she wanted to. That to me is scary.
Yes. No. And it was the point of, you're right, but he was willing to do what it takes to gratify her.
Yes.
Yes.
And
but she didn't really appreciate
Nope.
none of it.
Nope. That wasn't up to her standard. She gave him a list, and he fell short because he did not give her what she wanted. But she gave him the list first and told her, this is what I want, this, and that. She was specific in her list, but yeah, he could not meet the list. And I don't know, it was a match made from hell, not from heaven at that point for the two of them, for sure.
That's right. I mean, I'm sitting there talking to my girlfriend, and she said, I would like to go out to an opera, and you wear a tux, and it's okay. I got all that together, and even bought her a corsage, and something she didn't ask for, but he wanted to gratify her.
Yeah.
But when it came down to it, it was nothing. I mean, it's like this guy is not making $1,000 a month. Matter of fact, if he did, he probably been to the opera, went to the opera, but it's something he never done before.
Yeah. But as I said, she gave him her list, with the expectation he will deliver every single thing in her list. And that, it's like, okay, I would have turned around and run for the hills. But she was expecting the limo. She was expecting all of this to come. She wasn't going to go take Lord less than that. At least she was kind of honest, I will say it in one way. She was honest. She was expecting something.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it.
Right.
She was setting up her expectations, so he had to deliver. Unfortunately, the gentleman liked her very much, but he could not deliver with his own means. That was beyond his means. But he delivered the opera. They went to the opera, so he delivered that. Not, it reminds me when you set an intention and you want something to happen in your life, and that's the typical example right there.
That's
I'm going to use that analogy, that you expect something to take form or materialize a way you think it will, but the universe delivers you a different way. And that is the typical example. She was expecting all of the grandiose stuff, but he delivered it, but not the way she wanted.
Right. and and like he said, I mean, he didn't want to see her,
Oh,
smell
yeah.
her. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, and everybody in the room laugh when we get to that part. When we read that part, everybody crack up. You
Well,
know,
yeah. It's like
yeah.
at this point, she's not the pretty princess anymore. She's the ugly one around the block, and you don't want to deal with that because I think her energy and whatever she had inside and her anger turned her ugly. That's all. She was beautiful, but everything that came out of her mouth was venom, was poison. So yeah, she turned ugly. But
Uh,
I feel for the guy too. It's kind of when you're looking at it because she set the expectation. She told him what she wanted. In one way, it's like, okay, buddy, you tried, but would it have been better to maybe negotiate with her and just say, okay, I can do this, but I cannot do this, and what you're asking? I don't know. I would have seen if there were a room for negotiation to just let her know, well, this is our first time around, so maybe we're going to go this way. But because she set the expectation, that my problem is she set the expectation.
That's right, and
Yeah.
yes, just like you said, he could have walked up to her and said, I can't. But he did the best he could to gratify her, and she didn't appreciate none of it.
So
No,
would have been better for him to go back to her and said, okay, we can go to the opera, but I cannot afford it the first seat here. I have the row in the back. This is what I can do. I will have my sister driving us there. That's what I can do. Do you think it would have been a better approach to do this way, to try to renegotiate? Maybe I'm too much of a negotiator at some point.
maybe
Maybe,
on one level,
maybe.
yes, but like I said, he liked it her enough
Yes, yeah.
to uh, have her satisfied on what it is that he can do for her, and looking for her approval, and all of that just went downhill
Oh, yeah.
all the way, you know.
That's what I would have been him. I think I would have approached her and just said to her, because again, I would have been him. I said, I want to, I want her to be gratified. I want her to be happy. But those are my limitations. But I'm just letting you know, we're going to go to the airport, but this is not going to be in a limo. This is not going to be the first seat. Maybe later on we could do that. But for now, this is what I can do. And I'm really looking forward for it. I would have gone that way with her and see what her reaction would have been. She probably would not have been happy either, but at least she would have given me the
It,
third degree right there. I don't know.
that's right. No, but like I said, the point of it
Yep.
was that
Yep.
he was willing to gratify her, as best he can,
Yep. And
you know,
he
and
tried.
he
He tried.
tried.
And he did a good job, actually.
He really, you
Yeah.
know,
I know. I don't care who drive me over there. I would have gone there and say, well, I've been to the opera and experienced that. That's awesome. But
my
yeah.
sister have a nice car,
Yeah.
and your best friend is willing to drive you.
Yeah.
It's
It's awesome. You
and
feel like a chauffeur. Sorry.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, both of y'all was put at a fact, you know, and but she wanted to take control and say, "This is not what I wanted,"
Oh,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah,
And I don't think she was ready to budge either. That's why I said I would have come back to it and see what she would have done. But he went and tried his best. But I would have tried to go back to negotiate at that point. Just let her know. I said, we're going, but this is what I got. And but he did a good job. I will say that I will give him my hats off on this one because he went and he got scolded at the end of the day, which is not fun. And she probably were not happy sitting on those chairs and probably grumpy the entire evening. But at least I hope he enjoyed it a little bit. I hope he did.
yeah, he probably did, but it was the part that when they came back and said she wasn't thrilled about none of it, you know. And when I first heard that, Alexa, yeah, I would have drove up and told the chauffeur to back out of the driveway and let's go enjoy ourselves. I would have took
Yeah.
him to the opera. No,
Exactly. You didn't even better than that. Absolutely. Yes.
really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But oh wow, that's she had a high expectation. But to be honest, she let it out on the front of him to start with. So maybe it was a good life lessons for him to next time be more cautious of who you want to go out with, and if somebody came up with the groceries list, walk away.
Yeah.
Do not stick around. Especially
Yeah,
when
I
it's
know.
crazy.
And that was
Yeah.
one of that was one of the concepts of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like noticing what it is that you are doing, and notice what people are doing and saying about you. You know. And so, I mean, if it's fun, you want to be around the people. But if it's not fun, then you can go on about your business. You know, unless you like miserably. What's the word? I'm saying it right. Miserably. Miserably. Golly gee. What is I'm trying to say?
I have no idea for that word. You asked the foreigner here.
Oh, okay. Miserable. Miserable.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh,
I should send you a bottle of cognac so you can drink. You put a little bit on your coffee too. That could help.
let's see. What's the other word?
Yeah,
Mean.
she
No.
was mean. She was.
Yeah. Mean. Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was mean, and I think she was we call it high maintenance, quote unquote, because I've been told that I'm high maintenance. But I say to people, well, at least I can pay for it, so who cares? If I don't pay for it, then that's a problem. But she was high maintenance. She was asking for the moon. She was asking for the moon, and he tried to reach the moon. He did. He kept his word. Seriously, it's the delivery form that wasn't to the expectation and to this young lady. That was it. But he
That's
delivered
right.
it. He did a good job. So she should have been more grateful of what he's done, because I have a feeling that if she would have asked somebody else, they would look at her and start to laugh and walk away, say, well, have a nice day, my dear. We're not going to go and do that. We're going to go to the burger joint on the corner, and that will be it for you. But it's just, she should have more empathy for him, and it would have gone or been a it would have gone a long way for him. But
Right. And to the audience, I asked her to read that uh, for all of you to look at your relationships and the relationship you have with yourself. Uh, Somebody knocking on the door?
I have no
Oh,
idea. Is somebody knocking at your door? Somebody's
excuse
coming
me.
in?
See,
Somebody's coming? Oh, cool. We're going to have some guests here coming. That's going to be awesome. More guests. We love guests here.
I heard
So,
something. It wasn't that, but it thought of how you can be to your mate, and respect that you give the opposite sex. You want to be in a relationship, versus let's see, like we were talking about sensuality versus on sexuality. Yes, sexuality is one thing that is a part of our life. It's everyday life, but people tends to really look at sensuality as sexuality, and they just sort of let it pass, and that's why I give the story of the analogy about the animals. They fix up a nice place to attract
the mate. Yeah.
the mate, yeah,
Yep.
and it's and notice on the same level of what we do. No,
Yes.
we want to attract the mate. We want to look clean, smell clean, and be attractive, and so that's on the basis of that story, is how you really treating your opposite sex and it's that person really communicating
Communicate.
with you, or you communicating with them. You know,
Yes, yes.
so
Yeah,
that's the
it's the way we respect ourselves and respect the people around us. We can get a little feisty once in a while, I must admit it, but being respectful because you want them to treat you the way you want to be treated. Um, but that's something as well that needs to be taught well because sometimes it's not happening the way it's supposed to either. It's where you said you need to be training people with the positive thoughts, positive reinforcement. Um,
Yeah, right, positive reinforcement. You know, and you're doing it first off for yourself, with yourself. You know, and then as soon as people see that, they can want to know what it is that you are doing to feel that good, to look so happy. You know, when you communicate to that person, they say, "Oh, I mean, he really communicate really good. It comes across really smooth." You know, and so, but that's the basis of basic sensuality is one of the things that Denise and I was talking about. You know, it's really relating with opposite sex. You know, and after 28 years, she still come up and stroke my head or kiss me on the neck. You know, and I'm sitting in the office. You know, and so that's still feel good, and I do the same to her. You know, and it's just okay. We have our attention on each other. We still have that love and emotional feeling for each other. You know,
well, that's
so
what I was talking. It's when you enter a relationship, it's like you have to cultivate, you have to nurture it because if you don't, then you grow apart. You become roommates. And I think we all have to continue to, set up, even if you got kids, set up date night, maybe have a little time for each other and put it on a calendar if it's necessary. But do something that keeps the connection.
that's right. You know, and hey, if you actually, I did have quite a few roommates. You know, actually in the dorm. You know, in one girl, actually it was two girls. You know, and this girl kept talking about her brother, how much her brother liked her. You know, and it just got to the point it got really uncomfortable for this other girl. So she asked, could I sleep in the extra bedroom? You know, and we said, yeah, sure. Why you don't want to sleep in your bedroom? And she said because her friend insists on her getting with her brother. And she didn't like her brother. You
Hmm.
know, and so I mean, it's like, oh, you have to get in agreement. You know, and so that's one of the things that I noticed that, hey, regardless how much money he got, a nice car and stuff, if she didn't like him, she didn't like him. You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. It has to do with who you are, not what you have.
that's right.
It should be. Let's,
No,
let me rephrase this. It should be. Because some people
yeah,
are not like that. Some people are like,
yeah, quite a few people, yeah,
yes, yeah,
and her friend was talking on that basis, that he have a nice job, car, money, his own place, and so and she said, well, that's nice, she said, but your brother's too old for me, you know,
hmm,
but she still insists on that he got everything, and he got himself together. Well, if he had himself together, he would have a wife or a girlfriend.
maybe, maybe not.
Right? And yeah, the sister wouldn't be trying to play matchmaker, you
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
and so, but it does. It goes like that, and it's what I'm about to say. I'm losing my train of thought now. Uh,
Well, it's about the chemistry. It's about, like you give the example, and we talked about the example of the birds. The male will create the nest, and until the the female likes it, she's not going to approach it, so they have to make it pretty. Well, if the chemistry is not here amongst each other, well, there is nothing you can do that's going to make it happen.
That's right. And
that turns to be creepy at the end of the day when you get people who approach you and try to do... They're approaching you and they're doing what I call it the googly eyes to the point that's so uncomfortable. You felt like, okay, I'm not comfortable at all. It's very creepy. I need you to back out because this is not what it's all about here. The signals are not, you're not watching me. There is no signal coming my way to you.
I was just finna say that. No, I mean, if he's making all the signals, and that's starting to irritate you.
Yeah.
So
I've done a couple of times to me at work, actually. I had to have a chart to do something. I'm like, I didn't do anything to you. Do you like the accent? It's your problem, but do not approach me because that turned creepy. Like, really, it turns like to, they put the charm out and you're like, what is wrong with you? Just stop it. But some people don't understand that either, which doesn't help. But
right, hey. You know that it's not the first time someone walked up to you and said, "I like your accent."
Yeah.
But this person working with you, and he keep reminding you, how much he like your accent. Like, well, you want to get much further than that, and it's not happening.
Exactly. To the point that it's becoming creepy, and that's why it's like, if there is no chemistry, people should be able to read the signal and understand that the person they're facing is not interested. But I don't know if the wires in the brain doesn't show, or maybe they are too infatuated, or I don't know what they're on in their mind. But sometimes it's very, the signals are not going the right direction. So you have to back out. Like the sister with the brother, she should have stopped. If somebody said to you, no, thank you, then don't insist. It's like the matchmakers. I have to go after the matchmakers. People who spend their time, out of their goodness, want to spend their time to match people together. But it's an unfolding disaster every single time. And you're caught in the middle and you don't want to do it. And you're like, no, I don't. But you don't want to offend them either, but they're insisting to do that. And you end up with some individuals that you're looking at that person, it's like, I am not, even if it sounded good, listening to it, you're facing the person, but there is no chemistry. There is nothing you can fake it if you wanted to, but at the end of the day, it's going to be like, no, thank you.
Yeah. And she said one other thing, you my best friend, though. No, like, okay, because I'm your best friend, I'm supposed to like your brother.
Exactly. That's even worse. That's like blackmailing right there.
Right. Exactly.
It's like you're forcing me to do something I don't want to, and you're telling me and playing with my feelings that we are best friends. I'm sorry. No, it's not happening. I'm going to switch room. I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to sleep in a garden at this point. That's not, that is not good. So, for the story, for what happened with that young lady and that gentleman, have you encountered other similar situation that in your lifetime?
I'm gonna mute this.
Okay, so what I'm going to be asking to Dr. Goodman in a minute, because he's busy receiving a call, is do you ever encounter a situation or similar situation like that with individuals who one has a high expectation and poor girl or man?
Yes, because when I was teaching courses, it was a lot of people had that high expectation, and one lady said, "Hey, I love this guy. I really like him, but he not making enough money for me, And we said, that's not love. You are interested in his money, what he got, but you're not interested in him. His wealth is your interest, So, but yes, it was quite a few of them like that, in the old classic saying, "Oh, you got your thumb on me," because I can't uh, look or move or nothing, and it was a lot of guys had that attitude that, hey, this woman was my woman, and she do what I say, and she was too afraid to go any further, and jeopardize the relationship because she had nowhere else to live,
Oh, that's even
so.
worse. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and that it was about five of women said that, and that
They were trapped.
I will leave him, but my mom and and dad is in another state, and but we live here in California, and I just want to go, but I have nowhere to go, and so we invited him to uh, do a 2 weeks evaluation at the university, and stay there, and then get yourself together, and that's what actually four out of five of them women did, you know. They end up staying at the university or one of our other houses that we had in Oakland, San Francisco, so like that, and the guys was totally mind blown, and then they came to light, like, oh, I was controlling her,
Yeah.
but I thought that's what she wanted, no, that you, let's see, what they used to say. They used to use a white term of the let's see how they said it. You just one of them guys that wait until the kids get big enough to move out of the house,
Yeah.
and
Pretty
and
much.
then yeah, so then she'll go, but she she knows she didn't have nowhere to go, and the kids is in school, and so it was like that. He just felt like he was totally in control, you know, and it was quite a few women like that too, you know.
That's
Yeah,
and that's the unfortunate thing as
yeah,
well. And I've seen
yeah.
it happening here where I'm at too, where someone ended up, and that's not the first person I see this happening, who was working and ended up with a relationship where the person was over controlling, stopped to work, ended up to be pregnant, and basically at the mercy of that person.
Right, and
Wh-
that's another thing.
Which
You
is,
got my
yeah,
yeah, you got my baby.
yeah.
You ain't going nowhere. This is my baby.
And you're
You
not
know,
working. You're not allowed to work. You're not allowed to talk to anybody around. So
but
basically, you're secluded in a house,
you
and you're
secluded,
yes,
right, and taking care of my
yeah,
baby.
yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well,
That's not
not
right.
our child or our kid or our baby,
Yeah.
my baby. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's like, oh well, if you look at it like that, then I'm yours too.
Yeah.
You control me, and that's exactly what's be happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Well, that's why it's for me, a relationship should be mutual and not a one-way street. Neither being abusive, but again, it all depends how people are. Again, what their outer conditions were. That's one thing. And that's one thing that unfortunately we cannot control and we don't know. Sometimes we end up somewhere that if we don't see the signs, then we can end up somewhere we don't want to be.
that's right.
Hmm.
And they have a one-track mind.
Yes.
Yes. No, I'm have sex with you and turn over and go to sleep. And you says nothing. You
Hmm.
know, the woman, oh, I give it to you when I feel like it. If I give it to you, you know.
That's the thing that really gets to me is when they're using sex as a bargain.
Right.
And to me, it's so wrong. It's like, no, why would you punish yourself? because you're punishing yourself too, by the way.
Punish you. Yeah, you come to think of it, right? You
Yeah,
punishing
you punish
yourself.
yourself. I'm like, no, no, no. You want to have
No,
fun, we'll have fun, and then you can sleep on the couch. I don't care. But
really.
yeah,
Yeah. Why is I'm so angry? I didn't give him none. Why am I angry?
exactly. I missed it too. Crap.
Yeah, you missed it too. That's right.
That's why. It's like for me, it's like it should not be a bargain, but some people are using it as a bargain. It's a way to bargain and to get things done. And it's like, no, there's other way to negotiate than that. But yeah, that's a very interesting story that you shared about that young lady. That was, oh my God, that was epic on this one.
Huh. Really, and just to confront how many men and women do that, and that is just manipulating, each other, and it's like, okay, I'm can control you, you are going to control me, and so I mean it does. That reason so many people get divorced, First thing you think, oh well, you slept with me, I'm in control.
Yep.
Really, no. But see, you and I talking about going to the bar and sleeping, taking a lady home, and wake up and know that she don't have her makeup on, and you go, who are you?
Let me call the cops. I do not know who you are.
Really,
Get out of my house.
really. Or he take off his toupee.
Yeah. Oh, that's even worse. With his false teeth, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And
Who are you?
Yeah, I thought it was James Dean. It wasn't James Dean. It was
Really?
end up with. Whoops.
Really?
Everybody looks a little bit better with a little bit more alcohol in there, and isn't it? Oh my goodness, that's terrible. We need to have a sense of humor here. We do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, what else? Did you have any question or any feedback from anyone from Tuesday show? Any questions?
Sort of, but I mean, we was waiting on today, and I was just about to say if anybody want to chime in, they can. Denise be down here in about 2 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So
we can have the boss feedback as well, because that was a very good Tuesday show. It was great, actually, to have both of you point of view from a man and a woman, and that was great insight as well on Tuesday. So if you have missed Tuesday show, you should go back and listen to it. It's a 2-hour show, so it was very, very interesting and a good insight as well, especially about the distinction of sexuality versus sensuality.
Yes. No. I was about to say the same thing. It's being intimate with each other, and yes, it can turn into sensuality. You have a great time, but just had a great time. Being seduced in sensuality. Yeah, and that really is a good feeling. That's what I want to say, seduce.
Yes.
Yeah, and yes, and it does. I mean, a lot of times I want to write a poem or just I just say it out loud, and she just be blushing, and I said, well, I still got it. After all this time, I still got it.
Good. It's good to continue to practice. Absolutely.
Really? Yeah.
Worse than practice. But I think sensuality, when you meet somebody, you don't know that person, as deep than you think, unless you know that person forever and you become from friends to connected and intimate. But I would say, when you're looking at sensuality, in the same with sexuality, it gets better and better every single time, hopefully. Mm-hmm. But it does. If you're looking at it when you met and you go and you know each other better, you're more comfortable, there is a lot of chemistry. There is a lot of things that uh, count into the evolution and where we are together as a couple. And down the road, you look at it and can see how comfortable and more, I would say, épanoui, flourish you become. Or I use the word flourish, maybe it's not the correct word, but that's okay. I might use this, or I'm going to say épanoui in French. So deal with that, people. Translate it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like the maturity goes with the time to be together. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. The,
Sometimes it's like
some,
you have to go with
yes.
the flow. Don't set up
Go with the
expectations.
flow.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Sometimes I mean, one of the students said, "How do you make a relationship better?" And we said, just like they do in Carnegie Hall, practice, practice, practice.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is so true. And don't set up high expectation, because I'm sure this young lady who wanted to go to the opera, I'm sure she had great expectation and even higher expectation what to expect if both of them would have had an intimate relationship too. But you know what I mean? It's like going with the flow, because sometimes you set your own expectation and maybe it's not delivered the way you're expecting, or what you got in mind might not be what's going on either. So it can be good or it can be bad or it can be awkward, whatever the end result happened at that time. But you have to go with the flow, because I believe that if you're a little bit more comfortable, then you don't have to force anything. You just try to do it organically.
That's right.
Or you take a little glass of, I don't know, cognac at the beginning and just say, fine, relax now. Don't ask you to be
Relax.
drunk.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We don't ask you to be drunk, and I'm not
No. Yeah.
promoting anything here, but you have to remove the expectation and really go with the flow. That would be my thoughts on that, because you will have a better experience at that point.
Yeah. And a lot of the ladies after we read that, pretty much said the same thing you did just said. Oh, that'll be a little scary. I wouldn't do that to my husband. I mean, I do ask him for stuff that sometimes I know it's out of the question, but I don't treat him like that. I might get upset at some stuff, but that's a little too high, and we wrote it like that for you to really take a look at the expectations of
Yeah.
you being in love with this person or like this person, and he doing the best he can,
Yeah, he did.
you know. Yeah, I mean that's
I give him kudos on that, because he did deliver. But as I said, it wasn't the form that she was expecting, but he delivered everything. He had somebody to drive them. He didn't have a limo, but he had a car. It's better than walking and or taking the bus. And he didn't have the best seat in the house. Plus, she should probably realize the best seat in the house were probably year-round tickets. So people who already have it for an entire year. The best seat generally is like that when you got people who go to the opera all the time. So he did a good job. He brought her where she wanted to go. He was clever enough. I'm sure the poor kid probably sweat some bullet too, to just said, okay, who's going to drive us? So he probably asked a lot of people. But, like you said, the sister was kind enough to have the car. The friend drove the car. So he did a good job to organize all of this. To me, it's amazing. He did a good job. But again, the form that she was expecting, because she wasn't budging on that, because she gave it to him the groceries list to start with, that was the list. That was like, I don't make any compromise. So, the scary part at the end of the day would have been if he would have met her expectation, what would have been the next one? Because if she went for the opera the first time, what would have been next? I said the trip to the Taj Mahal, or what would have been? Because it's like, holy moly, that was high expectation.
that's right. Like earlier, I was telling a story. The princess was in the castle, and she looks out the window, and there was a knight on a white horse in shining armor. So she got me come there, and told him about the dragon, the fire-breathing dragon. So he went and slaved the dragon, all burnt and stuff. Brought her back to head. She said, uh, "Okay, well, it's ochre up under the bridge." You know,
Yeah.
no,
The
but
donkey and the carrot.
yeah. So instead of saying
Yeah.
thank you, she said, "Oh, it's an oak up under the bridge. Every time we cross the bridge, he jump out at us."
Yeah.
So he went and killed the ochre, and he was coming back, and then she said, "Okay, it's uh, two-headed dragon." Somewhere else, and he looked at her, and she still didn't say thank you, you know.
You're
Uh,
gonna cut. You're gonna need to come back in less than a minute,
uh,
less than a second. Yeah. So he's gonna come back and finish his story. But yes, that's called high expectation in my book. It's like, oh my goodness, there is no end to it. It's terrible. It's like, oh my goodness.
have expectation. So he kills the ogre, and then she says a two-headed dragon, and so he takes a look down at his horse, all wore out, and he's not shining anymore, and he said it's not worth it, So he rides away, and she said to her maid, "See, he wasn't worth it anyway." Well, again, your expectation is too high.
Yes. Oh, oh yeah, it's like a donkey and a carrot. There is no end to it.
Yeah,
You see the carrot, but this is not happening,
yeah.
buddy. You're not going to eat it.
Really.
But yeah, that's why we need to, being honest with each other. And yeah, it's very interesting, actually. It's like, oh my God,
So,
in both
on
sides.
both sides, right? Yeah. So, I
Yes.
mean, if you really mark that up and think about having a relationship with someone, and then you do something like that, so you making all the calls, it's not going to work. It could, just like you said, she's not worth it, you know, you
Yeah,
know, and
I
yeah,
agree.
and all she has to do is say thank you, you know, make him
Yeah,
feel like a hero, you know.
exactly. Because he's the hero in that story, because he's the one killing everything around
That's
her. So you
right.
should thank you will be nice.
Really?
I did something for you. Please at least acknowledge it and be thankful and grateful.
Really?
It's
No?
like she did. She treated him like she had no respect for him because she did not care. It's like I'm gonna go play. He probably was the entertainment. He was the entertainment. He's entertaining me right now. So let's make him do everything until he get tired and see how far I can get him. That's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, yes, that is the course, basic centrality, it's like if you want to uh, be with somebody or be nice to somebody or someone be nice to you, you have to like meet them halfway, you know. But
Yes. And it's not much because people see it as compromising. You don't compromise. You're in the middle, and well, you're gonna compromise because you need to meet at the middle. All of us have to meet at the middle. If you don't, then that's not a relationship. That's a dictatorship here.
dictatorship.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. That's basically my way or the highway,
That's
people.
right. Yeah.
But to me, it's you have to meet in the middle and understand each other because, like you mentioned, that was Dr. Wiseman actually. Last night I did a collaborative podcast with him, and we all have a different perspective. So if we don't understand each other to start with, we cannot set any expectation of any kind because our expectation will always be wrong to start with.
Uh, right, yeah. We sat down and say, okay, what is your do's and don'ts? Uh, and a lot
Yeah.
of people, what's that? I said, what do you like about her? Everything. I said, what do you don't like about her? Oh, I don't want to get her upset. I said, but there's some stuff you don't like about her, right? Well, I'll tell you later. I don't want to say it in the course. And then she turned around and said, it's some things I don't like about you. And he said, what? Like what? And she went to telling him. You know, she said, I didn't know that. I didn't know you felt like that. She said, yeah, because you was the one always saying, let's do this, let's go here, and even though it was fun, but you was making all the decision. You didn't know what I like or don't like. And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. There's few things. That's why we need to communicate. That's why we need to be able to express um, how we see things, and that clarify some of situation that could be better in a relationship. Because the communication is always the key. It starts with the communication.
yeah. And I asked the question, I said, how many of your men know your wife's favorite color? None of them raised their hand.
Uh oh. Uh oh. We know who slept on the couch or on the floor.
Yeah, but and then I turned around and asked the women, and all of them raised their hand. And he said, "You know my favorite color?" She said, "You wearing it?" He said, "Oh, yeah." She said, "Oops."
Whoops.
you know, and pretty much all the guys which like shit, jumping. I mean, setting up, adjusting his shirt. Yeah, I got my favorite
Yeah.
color on right now. I don't know her favorite color though.
That is so funny.
Yeah. So yeah,
I know
yeah.
simple details to know.
It is. And but yeah, I mean, it's like yes, that guy could have been the same thing. Just like the girl, she wanted to ride in a limo. But
Hmm.
he might have been expecting something else. I mean, okay, I'm gonna take you to in a limo and all this stuff. But we're gonna go to bed together after that.
Oh yes, for the
Yeah,
opera. Freak,
and he
yes.
said no. I wasn't that. No,
Yep.
and he wanna call her everything but a child of God. You know, I spend my money on you and waste all of my time. I thought you was in love with me. You did that because you love me. Oh yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's the assumption too, and that's kind of a problem too. That's why, if you go on a date, I always did. If I went on a date, I always make sure we split the bill. So you don't have the expectation and you're going to go to sleep with me afterward. That's not how it's going to work. I'm like, no, that's not happening here. So if you take somebody out, then don't expect you're going to get further. Or if you expect that, then you can wait for a long time.
uh, yes, no. And actually, it's a lady asked me that. I mean, I took her out. We, went to a movie, had fun, and I took her to the door. And she said, "Ain't you coming in?" I said, "Coming in for what?" And she, well, I mean, you took me out. I mean, ain't you expecting more? No. As a matter of fact, that scared me when she said that. You know, because I mean, it's like
Yeah,
we're gonna work up to that. You know, yeah.
exactly.
But if she had have said that she wanted to go out to dinner and go to a movie and then go to the bed afterwards, but she didn't say that. She said she wanted to go to eat dinner and go see this movie. Like, okay, let's go see the
Yeah,
movie. You know, yeah,
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
exactly. Yep. Well, that's why it's like, what kind of expectation do you've got when you're going out, not if you're married, because you already know what's going to happen at the end of the day. So, but I'm talking about people who, just are on the dating spree, and they're expecting, well, if I'm spending this amount, and I heard it, and I'm like, holy moly. Well, if I'm spending that much of money, you better pull out. I'm like, really? I was like, that's not a good thing, because that's not how you want to treat somebody. I said, yes, you maybe gonna have to spend money. That's that's the dance, but that doesn't mean every time you're gonna win at the lottery afterwards.
Yeah. And I also thought, I mean, after cheating, the lady at the opera didn't appreciate nothing, you know.
Well, yeah, that's even worse.
That was even worse. Yeah. We're like,
Yes.
okay, well, I might as well make the best of it, and go for it. Try it anyway, instead of
Yeah.
being
Well, she wasn't gonna pull out,
She
but
wasn't going to put out anyway. She already done pissed me off, and I don't want to see her no
yeah,
more.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. She turned me off right
She
there.
turned me off
That
right
was
there,
like
so
the
I
yeah.
might as well Elsa. I don't want to do it with her anyway, but I'm going to Elsa.
Exactly, exactly. Well, that's why it's very interesting when you're looking at behavior. But if you go out and expect that the person you're gonna see is gonna, if I'm talking first time, I'm talking you meet somebody and you're very interested of that person, but you're like, well, I'm gonna, we're gonna go to the bar, we're gonna have a little drink, then go to the restaurant, then maybe gonna walk outside if it's nice, then gonna maybe enjoying the rest of the evening somewhere else listening to music, then I'm expecting that after that we're going to go back to her place and having it. And it's like, no, that's maybe not going to be happening for you. It's discovering who you are first before you go and jump the gun and just expect this. Unless you expect something like that, then tell your mate at the beginning, well, I'm going to take you out, we're going to do this, this, and that, and I'm expecting you at the end of the day, we're going to go back to your place and have a little fun. Then be honest. So at least you know if the person's going to say, oh, yeah, no problem, we could do that, or not happening. So you don't waste your time.
That's right.
Which will make the approach actually better from my book, I think.
Mine too. I mean, at least you're communicating to what it is you're going to do instead of
Yes.
expectations.
Yes.
And so, yes. Here,
That sounds rude, that sounds
horrible.
horrible, or direct, or whatever you want to call it, but at least you know what the other person
That's
wants.
right. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What were you ready to say before I said that?
Right. Yeah. I was calling the boss. It's a quarter till. I'm seeing what's happening.
Yeah, what happened to the boss? She's supposed to do an appearance here. What happened with that? But I agree with you. If I don't know. It seems like we all have different expectation. Like I said, but if you're pretty honest, and pretty direct, and say, okay, this is what I do for this, and this is what I want at the end, then maybe the person will say no. Maybe the next person will say yes. If there is always people interested to do some stuff like that, and whatever we got in mind. So, but being respectful of each other, and don't set high expectation either. Just go with the flow. Know that person before you're acting up on your hormones.
Right.
If you're looking for a long-term relationship, if you don't, well, whatever. That's a different story.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
Go see. She's left her. Went to the store. Just up here asleep.
uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, a good thing I can just take the iPad with me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's down in the studio, so.
Oh, okay. You're in the studio. Okay, good.
Okay.
And luckily, there is no camera, so we're fine. So we'll not see her if she's sleeping. So it will be just fine.
Right.
We don't want to disturb her either. She's asleep. So, but yeah, so Rachel. Did I scare you?
No.
Oh, you scared.
Oh, shit.
She scared
Yeah,
you.
she did. Okay.
That's funny. I like the
Shit,
boss.
yeah. 5:30.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
Emma's on.
Hi.
yes, we're on and we're hearing you guys.
Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
All right.
All right.
So, what do you want to do? Take off this headphone. I don't know why got them on anyway.
Well, we were going to answer questions.
Yes, and I sent the story about the boy taking a lady to the opera and she wanted to go in the limo and uh, all that stuff, and she ended up didn't appreciate nothing he did, So that's what we was talking on,
Okay.
and we can talk on that, and uh, as well as what we talked about last Tuesday. What's the last Tuesday?
No, it was Tuesday.
Okay, okay, yeah.
All right. Um,
So, what is your take on that story?
well,
Yes.
um, uh, it doesn't help anybody to not appreciate, um, we knew a man that had a relationship with a woman he considered beautiful. She wanted him to take her to the opera. She wanted a limousine, and she wanted him to wear a tuxedo. He had never been to the opera and didn't own the right kind of tuxedo. He had actually never done anything like that in his life. He called us and asked us what he should do. We advised him that the opera could be a lot of fun, especially if this woman had so much appetite. We told him that this might be his chance of a lifetime to experience splendor. Um, she was not thrilled with any of it. The car was not a real limousine. The opera tickets were too far up, and he felt like a failure. As a result, the more wrong she found his efforts, the less attractive she became to him. He just wanted to take her home and never see her or smell her. Her breath suddenly repulsed him again. She could have been delighted that he found the tickets. She could have been thrilled with the car and the flowers and the fact that he wore a tuxedo for her. If she had appreciated his efforts, there's no doubt that he would have made another date with her with better tickets and perhaps even a real limo. If you don't appreciate what you have, you probably won't appreciate what you might get in the future. And that's an important concept. Appreciating what you have, as opposed to finding everything wrong. Uh, a woman can use positive reinforcement when a man does something that pleases her. Um, Positive reinforcement is the best way to you know
You're breaking. We cannot hear what you say. Can you repeat what you just said? Because you're breaking.
she can find one thing positive in her life, and then additional things going forward. I need to
Mm-hmm.
move to a better spot for the signal. Um, okay. Um, all right. How is it now?
Beautiful.
Okay,
Perfect.
good. Um, okay. You know, anger is, you know, can be overcome by learning to appreciate, you know, what her partner produces for her. If she can learn to appreciate whatever her partner or anybody else does for that matter, um, and feel enthusiasm and enjoyment, more and better things will come. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
live in a society that, you know, is focused a lot on negativity. You know, pain sells versus, you know, a pleasure. People, you just look at the news, you look at, you know, the sensationalism around negativity, and
Yep. Mm-hmm.
it's very prominent in our society. But you know, if you can appreciate what you have, you'll likely have more. I think we all have known people who are, you know, very positive or very negative, and people who are very negative often don't seem like they're very happy, because nothing's ever right for them, um, versus, you know, being, you know, finding the good, seeing the good.
Yeah. Finding the silver lining.
That's
Yes.
right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sure, you know, bad things happen, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and I'm not saying you should find everything good, but you know, I I know a woman that always like thinks the worst of people. You know, it's like, you know, she'll just jump to conclusions about things that really, it doesn't make any sense. You know, she just seems to be mad at the world. And she seems like she's not a very happy person. Um, and you know, I, I don't know why she does that. I don't know why she, you know, chooses to find people um, wrong or make value judgments about them that are
Mm-hmm.
negative, just straight out of the box.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
So, you know, and also I think if you tell people, like, you might have a positive um, uh, experience or thought about somebody, but often it's not communicated genuinely. You know, the other day, yeah, it doesn't help if you keep your positive thoughts to yourself all the time, um, either. So
Yes, that is true. Yeah,
find that,
it's nice to share
find
them.
the
Yeah.
guy right, you know, find the person, regardless of who they are, whether it's a man woman thing or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just a neighbor. You know, it's unhelpful to, um, you know, keep all your positive thoughts to yourself. It's like if you keep telling a kid, you know, finding him wrong and just always criticizing what you know, he or she does versus, you know, positive reinforcement, the kid is going to turn out a lot different. It's the same with any human relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you
That's
think
true.
about that, Emma.
I do. I think it's you're so right on that. That we need to be a little bit more positive, or at least find something positive. Because sometimes we might have a hard time to find positive things, but we can always find something, and it doesn't has to turn to become like thinking they're stroke their ego. But it's nice to thank you. It's nice. Oh, that's nice what you did for me today. Even a simple thing.
Right.
I think the simplest thing is the best thing. If you expect for the big things, good luck with that. But the simplest things, maybe fixing something that's been waiting for 6 months, and finally they're doing it, and you're like, oh, thanks. that's going to be helpful now. I'm going to use it, or
Right.
whatever, it's happening. So, yes, I found it very useful, and it makes it easier. And it opened, I think, the channel of communication as well.
Yeah.
Because if somebody is always negative, then you don't want to talk to that person, or you want to do the bare minimum. That's it. You
Right.
do not want to engage on for that communication. So yes, relationship, you need, like I said at the beginning when I started talking with Dr. Goodman, I said it takes a lot of nurturing, and it's not a 15-minute race either, because some people maybe think, oh, I got that person, so I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to stop everything I'm doing. It's like, no, you have to continue to nurture that relationship to continue to flourish. Because if you don't do it, then it's not going to work. It's like a plant. You need to take care of it. If you don't, it's going to die.
Yeah, she went to the little girl's room, but okay. Uh, I thought you was going back
I love
before you stopped talking.
it. I love it. It's like, all right. But no, but that's true. If you're looking at a relationship, like we said at the beginning, you have to nurture it. You have to take the time to reconnect. And I know with the busy life we've got, it might be more challenging, but we need to take the time to do that. Even in the evening, just unwind, just, for a little bit. And just, if you don't want to talk about your day, just not turn on TV and watching the news, but just start to have a conversation about anything and everything, talking about some projects or anything like that. And but just unwind and reconnect.
Right, yes. It's a lot of times we had did a course, and both of us pretty still wind up and still want to talk about the course, but we're like just winding down and not just not saying nothing to each other, just looking and uh, turn the TV on and the volume is down. The volume is down,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and just really letting it absorb, you letting it soak in, consume
Yeah.
it, you know. Yeah,
Yep.
and
That's why I have a rule at my place. There is no TV in a bedroom.
I heard that.
No TV in a bedroom. No, and I'm avoiding the phone as much as I can, the iPad. There is no electronics in the bedroom except the clock. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want that distraction. I don't want, if you want to unwind with somebody, I don't want the TV to telling me this is the end of the world coming up. I don't want to know about it.
Yeah. Um,
I want to communicate with my mate. I don't want to be watching something or be distracted by something else. So for me, no TV in a bedroom. There's only one TV, and it's downstairs in a living room. The rest do not have a TV. I don't want a TV anywhere else.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I understand that. I think people are much too attached to televisions. I don't watch television. I mean, I'm one of I just never really did because as children, my parents didn't want us to watch much television, and we didn't. So I never got in that habit.
But that's a good habit.
Yeah.
And for me, I had it when I was younger for a reason. I was on the opposite side of the house. So I had one TV, but that was when I was, 16 or something. That was a small one. Then I used it. But again, I don't want this. I don't want that distraction. I don't want the electronics. For me, it's like you need to create some sacred space in a house. And as much as I don't. I what? Well, I just did my yoga earlier, so I put it on the Prime, Amazon Prime, on the TV to just do my yoga, and that was fine. But the TV is not turned on during the day. And if I turn it on, is maybe for the dogs for 5 minutes. That's not even for me, and that's it. But otherwise, it doesn't function as much at all because I'm in my office or I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
But I feel that I don't know if your thought, because you guys have been taught the course and you're doing it, is for me to reconnect with somebody. It's going back to basics.
Right. Agree. Um,
So,
if people need to, or no, people don't need to do anything. People could, I should say, learn to, um, have ways of relating with each other that are
hmm
deliberate. People use television as a babysitter. They use it as a way not to confront, not to confront other people, or they use all kinds of ways to avoid having meaningful interactions with people,
hmm
and certainly television is one way to do that. Um, I could never, personally, I could never live in a house where there was a television going on all day or all night. It would
hmm
drive me completely crazy if I had to listen to that. So, but that's me.
I agree with that. I like my peace and quiet
Yeah,
at night.
really. Um,
Yes, yes. Because there is too much excitement during the day. It's like you need to unwind. And for me, going back to basics is just being, reconnecting with each other. I think it's the key is staying connected because we can disconnect very quickly, between the phones, the social media, and everything else going on, having a long days, drama, whatever is going on. You need to stay connected. And it's becoming challenging, or we're becoming lazy too, I would say.
right.
Yeah, because we're dependent on electronics. You know,
Yep. hmm
yeah, she's what's that, boy, or girl,
That's Mark. That's the
boy?
boy.
Okay.
Yeah. He decided to make himself known. Daddy doesn't do that. Daddy is actually is in the bedroom next to my office, and Daddy is asleep next to me. She doesn't. She's not the barker. She will bark if she sees somebody. She's the alarm. I call her the alarm. If she sees somebody at the delivery, she will be at the windows looking at it. But Mac, when he wants something like he did now, is barking because he wants attentions.
Oh,
He's calling me or he's calling her. Either way, that's his way. Oh yeah, he does that all the time. If he's in the house and he doesn't know where we are, he will call this way. Or if he knows where we are and he wants attention, then he will do that too.
all right.
Yeah, it's his way of communicating. That's the dog.
Yeah. Is anybody coming up want
Yeah.
to talk?
Mm-hmm. No, but we're good. We're good. So, do you have any question and you had or any feedbacks that you guys heard from Tuesday's show?
Um, yeah. Um, one there was one question about being deliberate about having a date with someone when you've been in a relationship for a long time, and you know and not used to doing that, used to trying to have spontaneous like sexual interaction, and um, that had kind of dropped off over time. And my uh, response is, it's you can always start to um, be a little bit different, and you can make a plan, to do something. You can make a plan to, get together. It doesn't have to be a big fancy thing or expensive. It can just be, it's about being deliberate. And if both people are in agreement that, that's what they want to do, then, you can set it up, like set up your mind first, that, and you can, an idea that works for, us and a lot of people was to, decide in advance, all right, let's have a date on Thursday or Tuesday or whatever, day it is. And then, plan for it, make sure your room is, nice, have some things, that are, pleasurable for both of you, something, nice to drink, maybe some snacks, put some music on. You can have, uh, deliberate interactions that you plan for. It's just that we get lazy and we stop, sometimes appreciating the other person. The date,
I agree.
it doesn't even
I
have to
agree.
be about a sexual date. It can be, excuse me, it can be a massage. It can be, going for a walk, doing something, that you like to do, where you can, put attention on your, on each other and your relationship, um, without all of the distractions of day-to-day life, where you may not ever get around to, appreciating each other.
I agree. That's what we talked about earlier too, and I mentioned that that's setting up some weekly dates and just time for just the two of us and just spending the time and reconnecting. I think a lot of people, when you enter a relationship, you don't understand this is not a 15-minute drive through. It takes time to nurture it, and it need constant, I would said, nurturing. It's not every year or just at the time of Valentine's, I drop you a bouquet of roses and we're done. It could be things done, like you said, like a date or, things like that on a weekly basis. Just put it on the calendar at the beginning because if you have a hectic schedule, then you want to make the time. And doesn't have to be a chore either,
That's
but,
right.
you know,
That's right. I
you can make dinner
Yeah.
together.
Okay. Yeah, I was making dinner together, uh, creating the ideal in your mind and being seduced uh,
Mm-hmm.
first, and then
Yep.
what's your question for? Um, it like creates a space for you to maybe set it up on Thursday, but today is Monday, and but you can leave her a card, give her a kiss on the way out the door, uh, tell her I'm really looking forward to Friday. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, build anticipation. It it easy. It's just it's all of our behavior is really a matter of our choice. There is no behavior that we engage in, that unless it's something like, you're being attacked and it's fight or flight. But in ordinary life, all of our behavior is, is deliberate. We choose to
Mm-hmm.
do certain things or not do certain things, so we can choose good. We can choose pleasure. We can choose to find, uh, people right versus find them wrong, right out of the bat. Like I said, I know a woman who, you know, I, I, I mentioned that someone we knew in common had a car accident, and she immediately said, "Oh, she must have been texting." It's like, why would you just jump to that conclusion? You don't know anything, it wasn't so. But I jump to finding, to make a judgment about something negative when you don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, yes. And again, like we said, just do little thing. It doesn't have to be something grandiose, but at least it restart the connection, and then you can go from there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yes.
like this here, we making a connection, and like you come on. Uh, Someone else come on, I'm tuning them in, and I'm like really training my mind to like ready to listen, it's just
Mm-hmm.
another whole different thought, okay, the boss
Mm-hmm.
is looking at his book. You want to read something? Oh, okay. Um, but having that viewpoint of wanting to gratify each other, and
Yep.
knowing what each other want, at that particular time because you done talked about it, and the agreement makes it more intimate, and so yes, it really is good to communicate before, during, and after. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like if you want to, um, train an animal, train a dog to do something. Not that we treat our partner that way, but you want to communicate what what you want to communicate before, during, and after something. You want to say, um, you know, you want to train yourself and your partner. I think too often we people will want to assume that well we've been say lovers for so many years, and he should
Mm-hmm.
know what I like. Well, that's a partially true, but also people's uh, change over time. They
Yes.
may, or just it might be like, all right, I have a headache now, but it would feel good if you rub my shoulders, right? But I don't want, to go for a run, or I don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
do something else. It's a matter of paying attention and asking questions, ask of the person too. If you're not, we're not mind readers, and it's better to be communicative about what it is that you want, versus assuming somebody's just supposed to guess. I think we see that
Yeah.
an awful lot in
Mm-hmm.
man-woman relationships, where you're uh, say it's a gift. A guy gets a gift for a woman, and it's not something she wanted, and she really wanted. Maybe he gets her something, and she was really hoping for something different, but she didn't communicate that, and then that's
Mm-hmm.
setting yourself up for disappointment. um it's very easy to make a little list. Here's a list of things that we call them want lists, that I would like to have or do. And it doesn't have to be expensive or extraordinary things. It could be you know it could be anything, big or small, and that's what we
Mm-hmm.
have to focus on. Is if you don't communicate what you want, how can you expect to get what you want?
Yes, and it goes with appreciation. Um, this guy, he heard this watch his wife. She wanted something, and then maybe a few months later, he seen it, he got it, and brought it home, and so when she seen it, she said, "Oh, well, I wanted that long time ago. I don't really care for it now."
That's a very castrating experience for the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, I mean that's what he said. She said. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Well, yeah, because if you're listening to her and it takes time, well, it takes time. But if you don't like it anymore, but maybe you have to let the person know before they do it.
Right. Oh,
But yeah,
right. I
that's
mean, it's something that you liked, yet you wanted at one point. So showing your appreciation. Oh, thank you. And so I mean, take it and go and put it in the bedroom or whatever, and uh, your best friend is having a birthday. Maybe she liked
mm-hmm.
it too. But you showing your
Yeah.
appreciation to your man or
Mm-hmm.
your opposite sex. Your mate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So But that was pretty castrated, and that's where Vic was said the courses is for the teachers, because that really threw me for a loop, but I learned something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and yes, he still wanted to be with her, and satisfy her, and but it was like, oh, and she agreed with him. She was sitting there. She said, "Yeah, I didn't want that anymore. I didn't like that, Damn, I mean, he dropped his head. I was like, yeah, she just made him feel even better sitting here. You know?
Yeah, approval is very important. But I think some people just either don't. Some people just get lazy and don't acknowledge, and some people are just, some people are just not conscious. And fundamentally, it's a lot more fun to find things right and find the good in other people than it
Mm-hmm.
is to because if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, then you won't be yourself. You're in a state of negativity, and um, you know you're not going to be happy. So people don't want to be around unhappy people. It's not any fun.
Mm-hmm.
Life is short. Um, it, it's
Yep.
it's just not worth it.
I agree. Totally agree. But it depends on us, actually. Because if we don't make the effort, then we're the one who's sinking the relationship. But again, there is two to tango in that relationship. And it should be a conscious effort from both sides as well.
Right. We
Mm-hmm.
we talk a lot about anger and happiness, and anger stems from often people believe that some kind of personal right has been violated, and everybody believes they have some kind of rights, all kinds of rights, whether it's to breathe or to vote, and
Mm-hmm.
usually we don't think about that until it's gets violated. Some right is violated, and then people get angry. That's a formula for anger. But and almost always it's kind of almost universally thought that women are angry with men, and women have been treated um, like second class minority for thousands of years. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women are angry with the people they consider who have oppressed them, and um,
And the ones that are really close to them, they feel like they are comfortable enough to stay angry at them, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
how they feel. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's not good for either side because you stop respecting each other after that.
right. I knew a guy that was relocating to where I lived from another state, and he, based on, I hadn't known him very long. It was somebody I worked with years ago. His wife was always, I didn't say anything to him because it was inappropriate. The guy was my boss. But he would come and relay things about what went on with, him and his wife. Not intimate
Mm-hmm.
things, but just, and I thought to myself, wow, this woman finds her husband wrong all the time. So anyhow, they were looking for a house. Well, no, he was looking for a house. She was in Texas at the time, and we were in California. And she told him, "Oh, we've bought houses before together. You buy the house. That'll be fine." And she didn't come and look for the house or anything. So the guy buys a house that she hated. She hated the town. It was too far away. The house was too old, whatever. And I wanted to say, oh, well, Joe, what she did was she's now found a really big reason to find you wrong, like every day. But she wakes up, has to
Mm-hmm.
take two kids to the school, and it was just a total setup for failure for the guy. And there's no reason why she couldn't have come and looked for the house with him. I mean, it wasn't a matter of resources or anything. And so she set him up to fail. And
Mm-hmm.
um, was something that she would be, she was a stay-at-home mom at the time, so she was in that house all the time. And eventually they did get another house, but what a way to torture your mate.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
at the time we bought this house, Denise was in California. I went to Arkansas. We was looking for a house in Arkansas as well as uh, somewhere out of California because they got too expensive for us to taxes, and
Mm-hmm.
so once she seen this house, she sent me a picture and stuff, and she said, "Well, I'm not going to get it if you don't like it, And I said, "It looks okay, She, no, if you don't like it and don't like words, I'm not going to get it. I like had to really convince her that I really liked the house, and then we bought
Good.
it. But I mean, it was
Mm-hmm.
like that. I mean, it's like we had to be in total agreement, you know,
Yes.
and that really, really made me feel good too. I mean, just like, okay, it's closer to you. It looks okay from the outside. I like the pictures, you know, but still, no, it was
Mm-hmm.
like that. And so once I said yes, I liked the house, and I went to act like I was ready to come there. I couldn't wait, and
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. And she said, we got to finish the paperwork. We got to do this here. I said, okay. Well, I'll sleep in the car, you know, until we get the car. It was like and that's what's it really felt good, and like falling in love all over again. That was it, you know. So because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's like trust and being responsible for each other, and
And
in
communication,
communication,
yes.
and
And being sync and not no hidden
right,
agenda, just
yeah,
transparency.
likes and don't likes came up, and I
Yep.
had to like it, really like the
Mm-hmm.
house.
Yeah, otherwise you would not be in that house
Today,
today, which is awesome. No, but this is a great concept. I think a lot of people should take a cue out of this one because
thank you.
sometimes people don't. Sometimes it's just, oh yeah, that would be fun. And then later on, it's where the knives and everything dropped. And it's like, okay, we're going to go for the jugular because I hated that
Yeah.
house. I told you I like it, but no, I did not. But yeah, and that should apply for everything in life, actually.
Right. um
Yeah.
it that now that's an example of a really big thing. It's harder to just turn around and get a different house than it is to but there are people, there are little things that you can acknowledge that don't cost you anything. For example,
Mm-hmm.
you know the the woman who said, "Oh, I wanted that a long time ago. I don't want it anymore." That was unnecessary. She could have just said, "Oh, thank you. I really like that. Isn't it pretty? It smells. These flowers smell good. Whatever it is." There was no
Mm-hmm.
reason
Yeah.
to turn around and say, when it's something of note, of like very little consequence.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just want to say, yeah. And she said it was my favorite color, though.
That's good to know.
Good.
What's your
At
favorite
least
color?
something good
I
came
love
out.
it. Yeah, I love this one. I think this one will stay for a long time, for sure. But no, but that's very interesting. So, what are we going to be talking on next Tuesday, guys? Because we're almost at the end of the show here. We have a few more
Okay,
minutes for tonight.
communication. Tools, tools and techniques to
Yep.
enhance communication. I mean, we've got a list of things that uh, you could practice, ways of
Good.
being. So we're going to talk about what works, what we have found that and others have found that works to enhance communication. And if, people who plan to come can bring some of their examples about some technique that worked for them or circumstances that it didn't work. We can talk about that. So we're going to focus on communicating with your partner.
Uh, okay.
Fabulous.
Oh, yeah. No, right. Okay. Yeah.
Dr. Goodman.
You heard the boss. All I got to do is okay.
Exactly. I know. This is what is so funny.
Yeah.
Denise is the
Yeah.
boss. She's running the show here. That's awesome. No, that's great. And I think for me, it's a good thing because we talked about it. And I think communication is, I will say, the key. If we're able and capable to communicate properly so we kind of understand each other, that would be great. That would make life easier for sure.
Right. Yeah. And on the level of communication is respect each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yep.
that. All right. So it's 6:30. We can
Yeah.
we can
Yes,
yeah,
it
we can
is.
set the time. But right. We can do it again at 4:30. We started at 4:30. If you thought it was
Yes, yeah, because Emma moved Nevada directly to next to Colorado. I just decided to swap Colorado with Nevada.
Okay. So we'll
Time.
be on at
Yes.
4:30 on Tuesday, our time.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. All
Yeah.
right. Well, we'll see y'all then.
Yes, we'll do. And I will talk to you, Dr. Goodman, and we'll do the video Saturday. So I will connect with you to do that Zoom video because we're going to start to record on Zoom as well.
Right.
So it will be on a website. It should be extremely interesting to do that. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward for that. So thank you so much for everybody listening to us. And I'm going to let you, Dr. Goodman and Denise, to do the closing actually for today.
Well, I'm looking forward to people's joining in next week, and I think it's begin to be very interesting and exciting for me. So like that. I'm looking for what's that Tuesday at 4:30.
Right.
Yeah.
Pacific time.
Pacific time. 6.
7:30
There
Eastern.
you go. Okay. Where she said.
Like I said, my Eastern time, I know it. The rest, forget it.
Okay, great. So
So,
we'll see y'all then.
yes, thank you so much, guys. Have a good
All
night.
right. You too.
Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.